Greta Thunberg, along with some others, a member of EU Parliament, are on a boat. They're heading over to Gaza. They're trying to bring aid to Gaza and break a blockade, preventing people from doing so. The Israeli military intercepted them in international waters, by the way, which is an act of piracy, and boarded the boat and kidnapped them. It seems like the IDF is trying to go for like a tut-tut you crazy kids thing. The narrative from the Israeli government, they call this a selfie boat, right? They're like, well, this is just a bunch of celebrities and kids who are trying to, you know, get some clout off of fake activism, right? This is a line that, for the most part, I believe the West has been reaffirming. But make no mistake about the severity of what they're doing, okay? In international waters, act of piracy, kidnap them. There's some video has been released, but I don't want to show it because the video that's being released at this time is being controlled by the Israeli military. So there's like a video of them handing like sandwiches to the people on the boat. You know, like, oh, look at how nice we are. These people we kidnapped in international waters, we're giving them sandwiches, you know? The IDF said they were going to force them to watch footage of October 7th, which, you know, I bet you they haven't heard of that incident before. So I'm sure that being told what October 7th is will set them down the right track. What is that? It's a very obscure event that a lot of people haven't heard of. I love Western media, man. The Freedom Flotilla Coalition, which organized the voyage, said the activists were kidnapped by Israeli forces. They were, by the way. That's an objective statement. While trying to deliver desperately needed aid. The ship was unlawfully boarded, its unarmed civilian crew abducted, and its life-saving cargo, including baby formula food and medical supplies, confiscated, it said in the statement. It said the ship was seized in international waters about 200 kilometers from Gaza, and Adala asserted Israel had no legal authority to take it over. Notice how the Associated Press is only willing to deliver this information in the form of quoting the Freedom Flotilla people. So, okay, you know, these radical activists claim that Israel is not allowed to take people off their boats when they're in international waters. You know, they claim this. But we're not saying it. Yeah, there's no way to verify this information. This wasn't humanitarian aid, it's Instagram activism, Israeli government spokesperson David Mencer said. Meanwhile, Israel has delivered 1,200 truckloads in the last 2 weeks. I believe you. Rights group questions Israel's seizure. I believe, am I right in remembering that the Swedish government has made a statement? Did you see Sweden refuse to do anything about Greta? Sweden's foreign minister Maria Malmer Stenergard said that Greta Thunberg and 11 other activists legally detained by Israel are not in danger and do not require consular support via Swedish. Can I get the actual like media report from Sweden and not the activist Twitter account that paraphrases it? Daily Mail link? Yeah, sure. Sweden snubs Greta Thunberg's plea for help on board Freedom Flotilla, country's blunt response activist. Okay, can I have the blunt response in question, please? Maria Malmer Stenergard, the Swedish Minister of Foreign Affairs, said on Monday she believes that Thunberg is not in need of support from the ministry after the climate activist called on followers to pressure the government into action. Yeah, I suppose that's to be expected. A great responsibility rests on those who choose to travel contrary to the advice given to a place, she said outside the Swedish parliament as protesters gathered in Stockholm to demand intervention. The minister lamented that, as a result of Greta's plea, the consular hotline had received a high volume of calls that meant Swedes in need abroad were being held in long queues for assistance. Oh, how selfish of them. Oh, don't call in to ask us to do our job. You're being inconsiderate to other people, hypothetical people. Here's Al Jazeera consolidating the information. Thank you. World reacts to Israel's seizure of Gaza-bound aid vessel, Madeleine. Macron has asked our 6 French nationals to be allowed to return to France as soon as possible. Allowed to return. We have asked to be able to exercise our consular protection over them and to visit them. That's more direct than Sweden. No response from the United Kingdom. Ireland, unsurprisingly, describes the Madeleine as a powerful symbol of humanitarian solidarity. Yes, yes. Information from Spain, I suppose. Jewish Council of Australia. That's not a governmental body, is it? Some of these are governmental bodies and some of these are activist organizations. Spain is a leftist government, bro. I'm just looking at what is being written here. Answer from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Stenergard about the activists. They have their own responsibility. Sheesh. Grim, man. I have no doubt that the people from the flotilla are going to be released safely. It doesn't benefit Israel at all to murk them or whatever. But yeah, no, the cuckoldry here on display is absolutely psychotic. Israel is a demon state. It's a rogue state. This is an act of piracy in international waters. The idea that the Swedish government is like tut-tutting Greta Thunberg over this when they were abducted in international waters and therefore did not even break the national water blockade. Like, they didn't even engage in the behavior which would be considered, like, under Israel's rights via international law, like, prohibited. They're just going to go again? Well, they're very brave. They're very, very brave. The Swedish moderates are a right-wing piece of shit, yeah. And you know, if they killed Thunberg, by the way, and boasted about it, the Swedish government still wouldn't do shit. But don't worry, folks. There is at least one powerful world leader willing to speak in defense of Greta Thunberg. And no, I'm not kidding. Mr. Trump.
Thunberg, and did she come up on your call with the Prime Minister today?
Well, she's a strange person. She's a young, angry person. I don't know if it's real anger. It's hard to believe, actually. But I saw what happened. She's certainly different.
Do you think
anger management. I think she has to go to an anger management class. That's my primary recommendation for her.
Was she kidnapped by Israel, as she says? Was she kidnapped?
I find it. I think Israel has enough problems without kidnapping Greta Thunberg.
Unbelievably, he emerges from the weave to deliver a statement stronger than anything said by a Swedish government official. There you go. I can't believe it. We have right hook out of nowhere. Biden wouldn't say that. Outflanked yet again. Yeah, no, I mean, he's completely correct. He's completely correct. He's not wrong, but I think that was unintentional. Well, yeah, his brain is sludge, so, you know, who knows, but outcome-oriented, right? I mean, look at that. Jesus. Also, it's funny, which is the most important thing. Yeah, no, God. Maybe Netanyahu pissed him off or something. Oh, for 100%. Netanyahu is intolerable. He has been for decades. Everyone knows it. Everyone who has ever worked with Netanyahu finds him intolerable. Biden was just immensely cucked to him. He's just an unlikable person. Yeah, I don't know. I still think of this as a kind of victory. The fact that Israel was compelled to engage in piracy and kidnap Greta and the others in international waters, the fact that Israel still is, despite being a rogue state, susceptible enough to foreign influence that they feel the need to keep them alive. They didn't bomb the vessel like they did the last one. They might just go there again, man. They might just keep doing this, you know? What happens if Greta gets kidnapped in international waters and then arrested and kept indefinitely in military detention? Why didn't they just wait till she was in their waters? Why didn't Trump wait for an actual gigantic violent protest before deploying the Marines? Fascists overstep. That's how they get their power. They overstep and overstep and overstep and overstep. They see what they get away with, and the more you let them get away with, the more they're going to do next. Greta's amazing, though. Absolute beast. Yeah, no kidding. 20, 50, 100 times as brave as me. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. You still have the harder job, though? That is true. Anyway, hopefully they're released soon and safely. I hope they enjoy their PB&Js and their October 7th documentary. The IDF is probably going to show them that same October 7th documentary that they did like a limited release of here in the United States. Remember that? Did you see Trump having a catheter? No, but now that I see that he's wearing a catheter, yep, he is certainly wearing a catheter. I saw that. We'll just throw this in the Greta Thunberg segment. Why not? Show us. Here's him at the UFC match, right? Fucking Don Skinny Penis over here. It's a catheter. I mean, I know you're all going to be a goofball about it. You're going to say, oh no, it's a very long, very skinny penis. But no, that's a catheter. Well, he is old. Yeah, but, you know, I know we mostly clowned on Biden for this one because Biden was a little bit more communicatively inept than Trump, but he's still very, very old. And while being old is the least of Trump's crimes, it's, yeah, you know, it's a little embarrassing. Your president just walking around with a catheter, you know? Spaghetti penis. Yeah, that too. Can you explain what the catheter is for? You don't know what a catheter is for?